Hello, everybody, for a special On Point broadcast. I know it's different. We are working remote. We don't have the live call-in this week. But I actually kind of dig this a little bit for this week because we're coming a little personal with everybody. This allows us to see everybody's comments. We can chat with you guys a little more. We can talk to you. So we'll give everybody a chance to come on in since this is new. This is very, very much new. The first time we've done it. Well, we did it this way.
That's right.
I think last year we did it one time when something happened in the sound. Yeah, we couldn't get it working right. So actually, I kind of dig it because we get to be a little more personal. And it's the personal vibe. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Mona. Hey, Keisha.
Yeah, they popping up already.
Yeah, come on in for On Point Radio special edition. They put the phone. I just saw the the post they put on Facebook. There is no call-in today, so you get to chat in your comments and your questions. Hey, Steph. Hey, Kiana. Y'all do us a favor and please share. Share as much as you can as we talk about some things that are culturally relevant to your lives. Hey, Ty. Hey, Barbara. Some things that are applicable to you. Of course, I'm Pastor Nick Smith, and with us is one of the assistants to the pastor, Reverend Richard White.
Good morning. Good morning. Good. How you doing, Pastor Nick? Hey, everybody out there.
Yeah.
Hope you're staying safe. Staying safe.
Yeah, stay safe, y'all. Hey, Sham, what's up? Marie, Keisha, Van, hey, McKinney, what's up, Danielle, Angela, hi. Y'all please share. Hey, Tracy, hey, Elaine, Sarah, all these people. I'm missing people. Hey, Sarah, a couple Sarahs, Nicole's, and y'all come on in.
You got California on the line.
Yeah, what's up from California? Hey, Jeremy, what's up? Hey, Arthur Jordan. Welcome to On Point, a special edition of On Point Radio this week as we do it remote instead of in our studio for this week. We're actually working on a new setup. We should have it done by next week. So our tech team and our media team is working on a new setup for us, and it's going to be pretty cool. And hopefully we'll have it done by next week.
Nashville.
So Nashville, what's going on? Hey, Dana. Hey, Jeanette. Yeah, we'll banter a little bit and give folks time to come on in because this is new. Hey, Audrey. How y'all doing? Please share again if you can. Share. And we'll get rocking and rolling. But as we're getting ready to go, don't forget that we have tomorrow starts our service change time. We're just doing an 8 and 11 a.m. service. We're having the discussion in between. So 8 o'clock service will be our first service. Right after 8 o'clock, we're going to run some old clips, like an announcement, then some old clips of some stuff that we've done. And then at 9:45, we'll start our engaged live group. It's going to be a live influential discussion from about 9:45 to 10. Then our pastoral discussion time from 10 to 10:30. They'll be back at about 10:30 to 10:45 to kind of talk about some more stuff. And then 11 a.m. service. So that's our schedule. I'll say it again. 8 a.m. is the first service. As soon as 8 a.m. service is over, we're going to do a quick announcement, run some old videos, some panels, some board at the plazas, just some fun stuff. Starting at 9:45, we're going to have Engaged Live. That's a group of some members that we have that are going to talk to you guys over social media, go over the lesson, go over the sermon, go over the service. 10 o'clock will be our normal pastoral discussion time. At 10:30, we'll begin the Engage Live. They're coming back again from 10:30 to 10:45. Then, of course, 11 a.m. service. I know it's a lot. Just watch us all day. Just
watch it all. Just turn it on.
Yeah.
Come back at 6.
Right. There you go. Yeah. Start off at 8 o'clock and just keep watching and work your way through. It's going to be cool. And then, like Pastor White said, 6 o'clock, we got communion too. All right. And it's going to be cool. It's going to be a packed day. And I believe God's going to bless us. And we're looking forward to tomorrow.
Amen.
Looking forward to tomorrow. Bishop continues the series on toxic people.
All wonderful series. Wonderful series.
Yeah. I think tomorrow he's talking about Cain and Abel, I believe. I think it's Cain and Abel. It's going to be tight. It's going to be.
Can't wait.
Right. All right. Let's get into this thing. Since we're doing this virtually, like I said, we're working on a set. We should have it done by next week perfectly. We're remote today, and let's get into this thing. So you can't call in, but we have with the service we're using. We can see all of your comments. We can see your questions. Type your question in the chat box, in the chat part. We'll be able to take your questions too at this time. All right. So please just type your questions in. Now, they're still fighting this presidential election.
Yeah. It's a dying fight.
Yeah. They're going after this thing to all the courts. The courts keep shutting them down. Even though some of the Republican judges they put in are shutting it down. I wonder if all these donations they're getting is really for the court case, or are they really for the whole administration? Tell me what you think. I could be wrong, but help me out here.
But they've raised over $200 million since the election's been over.
Mm-hmm.
So, certainly they're flying folks around trying to do this Georgia, get these 2 Senate seats in Georgia, and spending a lot of money doing that. But the court cases, we see Juliana all over the place, trying to petition these judges, and the judges keep shutting them down. I think the judges, they want to uphold the law, right? At the end of the day, yes, they're Republican or Democrat, but their task is to uphold the law. Right?
Absolutely.
But that's a lot of money, and you're right. I mean, where does the money go? Now, you talked with Bishop about this. They don't, all that money they raise, president gets to keep that money, right? The RNC or the president gets to keep that money.
I think it goes like this: if the donation is under a certain amount, only a portion of that money has to go to the case.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it, which is the actual bigger percentage, they split between the RNC and the Trump campaign.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think the limit, is either $8,000 or $5,000. So the average person is not giving $5,000.
Yeah, $25, $50, $10.
Right.
That money they get to keep.
Absolutely, they can keep that money and split it between the two of them. Mm-hmm. So they're 25%. So they're basically, it looks like they're basically lining their pockets on their way out.
On the way out, because they know the party is over, and we need some money for the next 4 years, right? Because the party's over for this round,
right? Well, especially if you're in $400 million worth of debt. This is helping you.
It's going to be really interesting to see how that all gets, if it gets mitigated, because that's a lot of money. And but the president says this is not his first rodeo. He's been through these things before, whether it's with his university, with how many casinos that bankrupt downtown, down Atlantic City. So he knows the game well.
Absolutely. Right. They know how to work the system, and I think that one of the court cases they asked the people the question, do you have proof that there was fraud? And they admitted that we have no proof.
Yeah. And so that's what the guy that was that he fired, Chris Krebs. Chris Krebs, the one that ran the election security.
Yes.
That he fired. He was on 60 Minutes last week, and he said this is the most secure election we've ever had.
Absolutely.
It is. So it's unfortunate, but we need to get on past this thing.
Absolutely. It's almost time to but I think like I said, they're going to run this thing until the end.
Oh, they're running it through. I mean, and I don't know how much past January 20th they still past the inauguration date. They can still be getting these funds, right? Because You remember that when President Obama was in and he had his first State of the Union address, and then one guy, I forget where he's from, he said, "You lie."
Yeah, yeah.
They said post that night, the funds that went in was enormous.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
So I don't know, even after the inauguration, those funds can still keep coming in. I just don't think it goes to wouldn't go to the presidential fund then, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Presidential.
Yeah. I sometimes I wonder, knowing how he is, and he likes to be in the public's eye, will he continue to do like little mini rallies? Well, and have many, even after it's over, like, will he have like gatherings and stuff to get his supporters,
The supporters are there, right? There's 70 million of them. So that's real, right? But certainly there's other people that want to be president that are Republican. Sure. And at some point they're going to have to shut him down and get those and get those, because 4 years from now he'll be as old as President-elect Biden, right? He's 75 or 74 now, President Trump. So really, 4 years from now, is he really going to want to run for president? He may. I mean, his ego is like that. But is it logical when there's so many? There's folks in the weeds that want to. They see what he did, and they're going to try to do the same thing. And their base is real, though. I mean, that's the thing. That 70 million people speaks for itself. That's a lot of votes.
And right. And that's why I'm wondering if he's going to continue after this is over, if he's going to continue to do, even if he doesn't run again, is he going to do like some sort of rally, some gatherings to kind of, because his base is so big and so.
No, you're right. There's been talk of him having his own radio station, like a Rush Limbaugh type of thing, or his own television network where he can just circle, because most of his supporters don't even watch the local news. They watch streaming, like we're streaming right now. They watch, all these streaming, what do they call the dark web kind of political views. And so there's the resources and the vehicles are there for him to continue on in some form or fashion. Right.
Absolutely. And I went down a right-wing rabbit hole one time because I just wanted to look and see like what kind of conspiracy theories do they believe in? And when I tell you the stuff I read these people are saying and believing, I was like, I saw one person say, "I lie to you not."
Right.
Hillary Clinton is already dead. We won't know about it because the government's hiding it until March. That President Trump did her a favor and pardoned her. Somebody said partner, and people are like, he's not right. He should not pardon her. She should go to jail. And I'm like, are y'all really? And they're really believing what's being said.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. And it's you talk about fake news. They have exploited it to the utmost, right? Yeah. They've taken it and run with it. And it's an interesting dynamic that you're able to flip it. You know how you talk to some people and the rules for them are different than the rules they have for you. So you say that's not right, but then you go and do it.
Right. Exactly.
It's fake news, but we're going to put a bunch of fake news out there. Right.
Exactly. And I'm like, and that's what they do all day long. And I'm like, I asked them, where do you get your news from? Well, places online. That reminds me of the flat earth believers.
Yes.
If you ask them to defend their point, they send you a YouTube clip.
Yeah.
I'm like, a YouTube clip is not justification for your point. Well,
people, a lot of folks don't read these days, right? They don't read. They don't look into things for themselves, and it shows. They just listen. And they're really not listening to learn as much as listening to meet their own belief.
Yeah.
Right. And what they want to believe. So they want to believe a certain way, they're going to listen to that type of rhetoric, even if it's not true.
Right. We listen to who confirms our bias.
Right. Exactly.
We listen to
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's funny how this is the thing. Now maybe it's me. For 4 years, they were telling everybody, get over it. She lost, he won. They were telling everybody, come on, let's come together, let's get along. Under President Trump. And now that he's lost, the same people that say get over it, they're like, no, we're not getting over it. He has a legal right to challenge it in court. we're not coming together. I'm like, the stuff y'all was saying, like snowflakes, y'all crying all the time.
Right.
What's going on? I'm like, and then they had the nerve to blame you for being impartial.
Exactly.
I'm
It's
like,
it doesn't make a lot of sense. And you can see the folks are saying in the comments, they're agreeing with everything we're saying. I think one person just asked, how old is there a cap on the presidential age? And the answer is no.
No, yeah.
You can be 100 years old and be president of the United States if you win.
Right. There's only you have to be 35 to run.
Right, to run. Right. But there's no upper cap.
There's no upper cap. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Biden's the oldest person to ever be elected.
Yeah, he's the oldest right now. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like that. So they finally, now here's the thing. Trump says, okay, we're going to give Biden his money, right, to do the transition, but I'm still not conceding, right? This is what I think is part of it's a game, man. Just so, I admit I lost, but I'm not going to actually admit I lost.
So therefore, is he going to the inauguration, Pastor Nick? Is he going to go or is he going to stay?
I don't think he's going
to.
I don't think he's going to go to the inauguration.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. He's not going away. Somebody also said in the comments, he's not going away. That's for sure. Whatever he does, he's not going to go away quietly. But certainly once he gets out of office, if in fact, whether it's New York or anywhere else brings forth indictments, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out also.
Yeah. Yeah.
It feels like there's folks that are just laying in wait.
Absolutely.
Until January 21st.
Right. And then I mean, it was this mess over the past 2 weeks. So it's like the DOJ admits there was no fraud. Bill Barr, after all that, says there was no fraud.
Bill Barr.
And I haven't heard from him. Have you?
Haven't heard from Bill Barr. We saw him going into the White House the other day after he admitted there was no fraud. But he's still got to live in Washington, right? I mean, life's not over for Bill Barr or some of these other folks that are jumping ship. They still have to live and work amongst these folks. Well, that Bishop has been saying it all year. What do they think's gonna happen once it's over?
Right. Yeah.
What are they thinking about?
Yeah. And some of them
starting to go.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for like some of them to really jump up there and have the fortitude to say, you know what, this is over. Like I'm talking about like Congress Republicans. Sid said that Trump said he wants to have a rally at the same time as the inauguration. I can see him doing it. I actually can see him doing it. I can see him doing it.
I can see that also. I can certainly see that also.
I really could believe that. Yeah. Have you watched House of Cards?
I watched the whole thing. I enjoyed House of Cards.
Yeah, the last season, it's kind of wasn't.
Well, the first couple seasons was great. The last season was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
I watched it, but it wasn't good. But it wasn't good. But the first couple seasons was really
was great.
And you're like, wow, this is real. This is how things work, right?
Right. And that's where like before I was like, I'm watching House of Cards like this. We're actually seeing this thing play out like in real life.
It's playing out. It's just playing out. I mean, those things you talk about, whether it's in business or in sports or in entertainment, the things that go on in the government that we never hear about, never see. I've been in the Capitol, in the halls, in the underground tunnels, and it's a whole lot going on down there that we wouldn't be like, it's even worse than what we saw in House of Cards. Probably.
Right. I'm sitting there. One time I was in DC, just kind of went there, just take a break. I like historical stuff, so it was a good rest time for me to walk around.
It's a great place to do that.
Yeah. And I was sitting there like, I wonder what kind of debauchery is going on in this place, like undercover
behind closed doors. It's wild. I know it's wild. From the folks that I know that have lived there and worked there. So it's an interesting dynamic that runs the DC area.
Yeah, we had one question about if 45 can pardon himself. And why did Nixon? Well, there has never been a president to pardon himself. It doesn't mean that a president can't pardon himself. It just means usually, I think with Nixon, there was that deal that he would leave if he got pardoned.
Yeah.
I think they worked something out.
It worked something out. Yeah.
Yeah, but Trump is different than Nixon, though. Nixon was a career politician. He knew the game.
Yeah, he knew how to play it. No,
Yeah.
he was. Yeah, and it's not the same with 45. But he's gonna. But still, hey, I wouldn't put anything past him.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, Trump's a street fighter.
Yeah, he's an alley rat, alley cat.
Yeah, and I think he's going to, he may pardon himself, and that's the crazy thing is. So now they're talking about him pardoning his kids.
For what? That's the question. Why do you need to do that?
Yeah.
If you said it, does it? Well, they must have did something wrong, right? That's admitting that there's already something that was done wrong, isn't it?
Right, absolutely. That's my thing. So. And you ran this whole thing on Hunter Biden, Hillary's emails, Hunter Biden, and now your kids are the one.
Exactly. Who you gonna pardon? Your kids and your son-in-law, and it's crazy.
It absolutely is. And I just honestly, I just can't wait till this thing is over. So hopefully we can go back down to it felt like the past 4 years, everything was heightened.
Yeah.
I worried about politics, but never to this degree.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives me some comfort that we can kind of go back to a calm presidency. Lord willing, we can. Because it was like every other day, you're like, what is he going to do? What are they going to say? What's going on?
Yeah. It's what really troubles my heart is that here we are in the midst of a pandemic. All these people, new records of death, right? COVID is the #1 killer in the U.S. this year. Not heart attacks, not lung disease, not lung cancer, COVID, #1. People still ain't working. You saw the food lines and things. You saw them firsthand.
Yes.
And we talking about politics? It was like, Al Iverson, practice? You talking about practice?
Right.
Wait, you talking about politics? Right. Why are we talking about politics? People are dying. People aren't eating. People have jobs. Where's the compassion for one another? Where's the U.S. bringing together to take care of our people? We're talking about politics, and it hurts, to see that, the lack of compassion that we have.
Yeah, and it's real. You're right, because like he's going to Georgia to help with the Senate race, the runoff down. But y'all not doing nothing to help with this virus stuff. You're not, he's not publicly saying anything about here's my thing. They will go to court, they'll do all these rallies, they'll do all these social media posts to fight a fraud that didn't happen. Right. But then they'll be silent about, you said, all the corona stuff. And the crazy thing is the places where the hospitals are the fullest are the places where Trump won. Because they got to believe it's not real.
That whole middle America is on fire right now.
They say North Dakota, 1 in every 800 person has tested positive for COVID. 1 in every 800. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
And their beds are overflowing. It's wrecking the Native American population because people just aren't doing. He's golfing, and people are just There's no.
And that's a lot of people. And no, you're right. And you saw what happened over all the people traveling over the holiday. The doctor, you remember the doctor? I forget her name. Where they were having a press conference and President Trump asked her, maybe we can drink Clorox, something like that. And she kind of just sat there and looked at him, the lady. She said on Monday, for all the folks traveling, that you have to kind of assume that you may have the virus, even if you don't have it. You have to kind of assume that you may be positive. So many more people are probably positive than we know of. So the numbers are probably higher than we thought, which leads us to the fact with this vaccine that's, the UK already passed and now it's going to be approved here. And they're already starting to put it in places like Philly's getting shipments, Jersey's getting shipments. We're getting questions, who's going to take it? Who's not going to take it? At the end of the day, and I'm not a doctor. I'm a chemist by trade, but I'm not a doctor. The FDA is the royal standard for drug and studies and approval. You know, why did the UK approve this first? Because the FDA, they wait 60 days for these vaccines. Normally within the first 60 days, you will see if there's going to be any effect. And so the vaccine, once the FDA approves it, it's good, y'all. You know, once they approve it, it's good. Certainly, I can understand the hesitancy for folks who not want to take it. But you know, this COVID, you want COVID? You know, I don't want this thing. I'm going to take it when it's available to me. Certainly, I'm not a frontline worker or you know, in a senior home or what have you. But once the FDA approves it, that drug is good. These companies can't afford a Pfizer or you know, J&J, Moderna. They can't afford to ruin their brand on this vaccine having some adverse effect.
So let's just jump into this real quick. African Americans and their distrust from the medical industry. I think there's some valid points on that. I hear what you're saying. I'm just playing devil's advocate for a minute. There are with the Tuskegee experiment and all the other things that have been done to us, and even just in modern day terms, where you see African American women with pregnancy not getting taken care of the same way as others, and I think a lot of people have an overwhelming distrust of the medical industry, even with the vaccine. So, like for me, I know I will take it, but I want to see what happens to other people. I'm sorry to say,
you gonna get that chance because you won't get it. You won't get it first. So by the time it comes to you, and then by the time it comes to me, it's gonna be about 3-4 months down the road. So,
right.
We'll see what happens.
Right. So, yeah, it's true. I want to see what happens to everybody else first, and it's like one of those the commercials where, you know, if you take this, your blood pressure will go down, but you're gonna have psychotic episodes, your diabetes is gonna go. You know? It's like a whole list of negative stuff that can happen to you.
Yeah. You know? But they, you know, that's true, and they have to do that because of the legalities, right?
No, I get that, but
put it all out there.
It fixes one thing and then creates something else.
Yeah.
So I'm on a medication I didn't know about until I was talking to my one doctor. She said, you need to take these supplements because one of the side effects is ... And the doctor that prescribed it to me never told me that.
Yeah.
I'd have never known that until I went to see this other doctor, this allergist, and we just happened to be talking. And she said, do this, and this. I'm like,
the vaccine though, it's and I understand the hesitancy behind it. And your question with regard to Black folks or African Americans, you know, Bishop had asked me to join a panel that was discussing the vaccine and the vaccine in the Black church. And the one that drove that panel was a Dr. Charles McDougall, who's the president of the AMA, American Medical Association. Yeah. And working with the president of Howard, Dr. Covington, who's a cancer specialist, I think his name is coming out, forgive me if I'm wrong, that they were ever to petition not only the FDA and the government to make sure that these studies had a focus group of Blacks also, because our makeup is different than other folks' makeup. And we wanted to see how we participate. So early on, they weren't utilizing Black folks within the test as much as they needed to. Now that's been done. So with Meharry and Morehouse and Howard University and various hospitals, you know, they've had a test group that has been going right alongside with the data, with everything for Black folks also. And so that's good. That's really good, and that's really important. And it was interesting to be able to sit on that panel and hear what these men were saying. And the same thing you said, how do we make sure that folks don't take the vaccine because they're concerned? Again, if Fauci and the FDA come out and say it's safe, and you're going to see the presidents take it, you know, whether it's Clinton and President Obama and President Bush, you know, this thing is it's going to be safe. It's going to be safe. But hey, we also heard yesterday that there are folks around the world that are going to be trying to find fake vaccines and market fake vaccines and disrupt the vaccine. There's certainly security measures that need to be in place because there's some bad people out there, certainly. But this COVID ain't going nowhere. So I get a flu shot every year.
Really, I never get one.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So I was talking to my allergist, right? And she was telling me that I brought it up last time we were live, that she thinks we're going to be chasing vaccines for a while because the way the virus is mutating.
Yeah, the virus mutates. That's why you don't get the same flu vaccine every year. Every year, the flu vaccine is different because it's a different strain of flu. So the COVID that was in the beginning of the year, that thing is already mutated.
Okay, so they're going to have to. So it's this vaccine. Then probably they'll have to come up with another one, and then another one, and then because now they're noticing that the virus is hitting people in their stomachs more than in their chest.
Yeah, it's hitting folks different ways, right?
Yeah.
So there'll be another one. What I wonder, Pastor Nick, is are they going to be like are they going to, I know this is a virus, but polio was a virus, smallpox, and all those were viruses. When we were kids, we got those vaccines and never had to get another one. Is this COVID vaccine going to be like the flu, where we have to get it every year because it's a mutation, or will we at some point be able to get a vaccine and be done?
Okay.
I think it's more the former than the latter, unfortunately, but we'll see.
Because if you said if the flu strain keeps changing, you got to get a different vaccine shot every year, then Okay.
And as you all know, coronavirus is not new. If you look at your Lysol cans from a year ago, it says it kills corona. Corona's on the can. So it's been here. It's just a different. That's why it's COVID-19.
It's a different strain. Right. So somebody asked the question: Will everybody have the same vaccine regardless of class?
Well, it should. I mean, there's different vaccines, right? Moderna's vaccine is different than Pfizer's vaccine, is different than J&J's vaccine. They're not the same vaccines. They're different. They're different strains of whatever they put together there, which is a part of the virus, right? When you get vaccinated, you're getting a part of it to build up the antibodies to ward off the full thing. But it will be different vaccines that are coming out because a lot of different countries are working on them. But will you get 100% of the vaccine and me get a watered down 50% solution? Well, that's illegal. Can it happen? Anything is possible, but that's illegal.
I hope they wouldn't do that. I know money rules a lot, so who knows what's going on. I'm trying. Well, the rest of the I'm gonna get to the other questions because
let's get to them.
Some of the questions ain't got to do with the vaccine, but some states are going under restriction. Now, California, the 49ers can't play in the stadium because they cut down on the contact stuff. They have to play in Arizona.
Right. Stanford or somebody's going to Hawaii, right? Then another college team, they're going to go play in Hawaii or somewhere.
They might
because they can't.
They can't. A lot of California teams can't.
Right.
I wouldn't be. Now this is me personally. Again, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theory person, but I believe that they're going to probably shut stuff down starting in January. They got to get through the holiday. They got to get this holiday money in.
Well, they got to.
Yeah,
they need that. You're right, but I think they're going to start shutting things down maybe sooner. I think Jersey's going to shut down. I think it's coming, but they're going to. Hey. I've been working from home since March. They said, okay, work from home until the end of July. Then in July, I said, work from home until the end of the year. Then yesterday, work from home until the end of March. So, I think it's going to be July of next year before, it's safe to go out.
Man, July, I kind of think till end of next year, probably.
It may be that also.
Yeah, I think if you guys read these restrictions that they're putting in real closely, they're very loose restrictions. So they're shutting some stuff down, but keeping other stuff open. Yeah. So it's like you can go out, you can't go out, but you can't go out.
Can't go out, but you can't go out.
But you can, if you get to the details of it, it's like, well, we wanted to shut down. We're not going to shut it down. We're going to keep it open. Because to me, the United States always been money first.
Money first. That's why the NBA's back, right? Somebody said, I think Ty said the NBA's back on Christmas.
Yeah,
they got a whole day of games.
Yeah, I heard they're back in the bubble, which I thought, which was actually a genius idea. It worked out great. But keeping everybody contained like that. And some people are like, what about their mental health? I don't know about y'all, but you pay me $20 million. I might stay in a bubble for a couple months, and I think I'll be okay. I think
Are they going? I didn't know. I haven't heard. Are they going back in the bubble, or are they? Is it going to be the same kind of bubble, or is it going to be a different kind of bubble? I don't know.
I'll look it up and see, but okay. I just heard about it yesterday.
Yeah,
they were coming
but NBA's back, and football's been struggling, and college football's been struggling also. So it's going to be.
Yeah, I think with football, they because people were traveling so much on the holidays, and they found out a lot of the players had these big gatherings and stuff. They shut down all the team facilities for a couple of days this week to test everybody again.
Yeah.
You saw what happened with the Ravens last week. They had their
They were playing the Steelers. They were supposed to play Thursday, and then they played Wednesday afternoon at 3:40.
Yeah, because they kept having on positive tests.
It went from Thursday night to. Went from Thursday to Sunday to Monday to Wednesday.
Tuesday to
Wednesday.
And they had to call up all these practice squad people to help them play because they had like 18 people out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they're saying NBA's not in the bubble this year. That should be
not. Okay. That's going to be interesting, right? That's going to be interesting. It's really going to be.
But the bubble worked because I think they only had one person go out.
The bubble worked well.
Yeah.
It worked well. It worked well too. Yeah,
it did.
It worked well. And everybody's personal bubble's working too, right? I mean, it does work. It does work.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the NBA, because if you're not in the bubble, it's going to be, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we had a question about the stimulus package, and so what Bernie and OAC, this is why you need, while I'm not an extreme left person, I'm more of a center, right, center, left, depending on what day it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a registered independent now. I just can't do it.
You just can't do it no more.
Yeah, I'm a registered independent now. But OAC and Bernie are fighting for a stimulus package to help people. The current stimulus package only has unemployment benefits in it, some other services to help cities and businesses. Again, like you said, we're in the worst time of this pandemic all year. The worst time. And I get the stuff for the unemployed, for and other benefits to help, like social service, stuff like that. But Congress, when their paycheck is basically guaranteed by our money, they take breaks when they want to, while people are struggling. I have a significant problem with that. I get America has a lot more people than like Canada and other places where, they're giving their people like $2,000 a month. But something has to be done to help people during this time. Some way, some form. It's just, they're arguing over corporations getting more money and not worried about the people who are working in those corporations that need money also. I got a problem with it.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I think that, and have worked for corporations for a long time, and there are a lot of tax benefits that corporations get. I think that this is that's going to change. President 46, President-elect Biden is going to change that whole thing. You make over $400,000, you're going to get higher taxes. These corporations will get higher taxes. So I think that's going to change. But the immediacy of the need for people to get some type of stimulus is real. Some people haven't gotten a check since back in August. And then they're talking about letting the unemployment run out at the end of and not extending it at the end of at the end of December. And that people that the eviction, the rent, what they call it, rent abatement that has been in place has been lifted. So on December 31st, folks may be able to start evicting folks. I think they'll work that out. I hope they will. But It's, as you said, to know that these folks that were voted in don't take the time to make sure basic needs of people are met until we can get through this thing. I mean, the light is at the end of the tunnel with the vaccine coming. And, you know, if people can't take care of themselves or their family and their kids, you know, some folks, they're going to do what they want to do, they're going to do what they got to do. And that's not good.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, like, you know, the airlines got all that PPP money and a couple other places did. They planned on laying off all those people after, I think it was October. You had to keep all your people to October, and then laid a bunch of them off.
Thousands of
them, and kept the money as revenue.
Yeah.
And it goes back to their shareholders are more important than the people. And I think I'm all for capitalism. I enjoy capitalism, but I'll understand that there has to be a safety net because capitalism has casualties to it.
It does.
You know, and that whole capitalistic dream that all of us can be wealthy is not true. Everybody's not going to be millionaire under a capitalist society. It's impossible. Right. It is utterly impossible.
And you're right, Pastor Nick, but you can take care of your people. Now, I know we lived in Europe for 3 years, and we're in a small country. Denmark only has 6 million people. There's more people in New Jersey than in Denmark. But it's all of Europe, you know, whether it's all of Northern Europe, particularly Scandinavian countries. You're always going to have food. You're always going to have education. You're always going to have healthcare. If you lose your job, you're not going to lose your house because their taxes are very high, but they take care of their people. It can be done. It can be done. And it allows for there to be that. What does that do? It mitigates crime. It mitigates certain types of abuse. It mitigates a lot of things. That doesn't mean those things don't exist. But when you know that you're going to eat, you're going to have health care, you can go to school, it mitigates a lot of stress. Yeah. That's why the Scandinavian countries are deemed the happiest places to live in the world, not because they're so happy as much as they have these programs in place to take care of the people. Yeah.
And studies, and you're right, studies have shown that where there is less poverty, there's less crime. There's less violence. There's less abuse. Affluent areas don't have the same, they have struggled. They have the same, some of the same struggles, but not to the same degree, like you said.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
Poverty fuels a certain mentality in people. But again, this country, people, now it's just me. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh here, but it's like when people say we need to live up to the ideals of America, my question always is, were these ever America's original ideals? When number one, when the country was founded, it was really founded to help benefit those who had money.
Yeah, well, sir, it's not going to be rewritten, but it needs to be written. All those we the people's constitutions, there needs to be some rewrites.
Right,
it's not going to happen.
When they was talking about we the people, they weren't talking about everybody.
They're talking about we. They were talking about we the people.
Right. We. Because I mean, even poor white men didn't have a lot of power in that time until Andrew Jackson came into play. So I mean, from before that, you didn't see a lot of, because you had to be a property owner like that to do things, and you know, so you had this country that was founded on discrimination in general, you know, and we're seeing it further expand, and then, but it just, I don't know. I love America, but we do have our issues.
Yeah, I love America too, but you know, maybe I need to get a place and stuff back in Europe somewhere. but I have, and I think a lot of people do. Hope springs eternal, right? I think we believe that the good will prevail. We know that it's already done and already finished, but we believe that good will prevail. That doesn't mean that it's not going to be messed up, but I still have hope. I still have hope. Did you want to talk about that because we've been seeing questions over here about this marijuana legalization and how's that going to help offset taxes or anything? I don't know.
Right. I don't know. I didn't miss that. So I think the marijuana is legal in Jersey now. Here's my thing, right? Here's my thing. Now that marijuana is legal, I need us to start releasing some of those people that went to jail for those little petty minor dime bags, they got caught with a little reefer, and all of a sudden they're in jail for 5 years.
Yeah, release them and expunge their record.
Let them go.
Decriminalize it. So that's, I don't think it should be legalized, but I think that the decriminal, you know what I'm trying to say, decriminalization,
yeah,
should be done. Certainly should be done. Yeah. And from a science standpoint, they'll be able to do more studies now, but it's. I know you didn't have that on top of
No, it's fine. No, bring it up. I think we meant to talk about it. I just forgot about it.
It's going to be, but so
here's the thing. So you got all these people now getting rich off of legal. So what's the guy? Oh, John Boehner. Remember, he was against the legalization of marijuana. Mm-hmm. He retires from Congress and joins a legal marijuana business.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah. Look it up. Yeah, it was John Boehner. Yeah, he was the guy.
I believe it. He's making money off herb.
That's my thing. So it's like, so now you got all these people making all this money off of it, and they need to tax the mess out of it. I almost said something else. They need to tax the mess out of it to bring some tax revenue back in.
They need to tax them. This, unfortunately, the marijuana thing is probably going to be like the way of the hair supplies. All the sisters on the stream know about hair supplies. There's only one black-owned. Actually, my wife Lisa knows it. Only one black-owned beauty supply store in all of Philly, in all of the tri-state area. And that there's a conglomerate of folks that blacks buy all the stuff, but they don't own it. So you're gonna have blacks buying marijuana but not owning the store. I'm not saying that we should. I'm not promoting it, but what I'm saying is the folks who are going to benefit from it aren't the folks. It's not going to be equal.
Yep. It's not. I think I saw a couple months ago there was one black woman that has a business, and a couple of black men who have marijuana business. I know a former football player does. But I think that if we want to, we're not touting and sitting there saying that, we all should be out there smoking weed and stuff. I'm not saying at all. We're talking about from a business standpoint.
Talking about a business who's benefiting from the business.
Yes.
The business that's going to be significant from this legalization. Right.
Yeah. And the criminalization of black and brown people who for years have been locked up for it, while people are now making money off it. I think we need to overturn those things. So
certainly there should be some as you said, adjudication of these prison sentences that have been put on people and be able to let them get back to a normal way of life.
I mean, you see it because I think it's in Boston or somewhere up there where they have a legal like meth clinic. Where instead of people going, again, not saying I agree with this, I'm just telling what's going on.
What's out there, yeah.
Where people go to get high under nurse supervision. Because but you notice this is not in the black neighborhood. Because I've heard about this, I think in Canada and a few other places where they have these places where people can go and get high under a doctor's supervision so they won't have those overdoses on the streets and stuff like that.
Right.
It just cracks me up how it's criminal in the black community. The answer is criminality, is prison in the black community. In the white community, it's an epidemic, right?
Yeah.
They need therapy and rehab,
right?
And they got legal places where they can go do it,
right? And and the data doesn't lie, Pastor Nick. I mean, black folks only 13% of the population. Right. So there's a whole 87% of the population out there that aren't black, that are using drugs. And nobody, but they want to make it seem like it's us that black folks that are the criminals over this thing. So it's a significant issue. But again, it's not thought of in that way when it comes to our communities.
Yeah,
it's not. There's that again. The compassion we talked about earlier. Nobody cares. Folks don't care.
They don't care.
You don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I grew up in a very more. It was more white than black neighborhood, and most of my friends growing up were all white. And when I tell you the white kids did as much drugs, if not more, than the black kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right about that. I'm talking about all that stuff. You know, that the acid and
The black kids were smoking weed.
They smoking weed.
They was doing other stuff. Like, you know, they was just smoking weed. They was like you said, doing acid, LSD.
Yeah.
You know.
No. Shooting up and stuff. So but it's certainly a significant issue. As you mentioned to me earlier, there, you know, that, and it's a pandemic when it comes to that. You know that the Purdue farmer, they got the 3 felony counts and $8.3 billion settlement for their ongoing production of Oxycontin, and how they put that out. And that Oxycontin was had folks jammed up bad. So, and they pleaded guilty to the marketing and related distribution of Oxycontin. In other words, it was going to the wrong folks and getting in the wrong hands, right? And it was black market drugs. So these things have to be monitored.
And here's the crazy thing: nobody went to jail.
Nobody.
I don't think anybody personally had any charges against them. Did any fines go against anybody personally, or was just the company? And when it gets the company, and there was no. I'm looking at the article right now. Okay. There was no. The 3 of its executives pleaded guilty to federal criminal charges, but they didn't say anything about any jail time. Yeah, that's the thing. There was no personal fines for them. There was no jail time for them. Could you imagine if you or I was running a huge Oxycontin ring out of our houses? It's a wrap. We'd be done. We would be done. It's over. It's over. And I think the most they did was they I think they had to disband the company, right? Mm-hmm. They started other little smaller companies. That's right. So basically, they just said, okay, we'll shut this down and start 3 other companies. Right. That's what they did. Yeah, they filed for bankruptcy and then they started to disband the company. Yeah, that's what they did. Are the people that disbanded the company a part of the newer ones? Mm-hmm. Yo, when you got what Don King say? Only in America, right? Only in America, because in Singapore you going to get shot, right? Going, in Dubai you going to die. Absolutely. China, any of these, they don't play. You're going to die. Yeah, you get convicted of these type of things, it's over. Right. That's right, and that's the crazy thing. So they basically were like, "Yo, okay, we'll just close up the big company, have the same people running the 3 other companies, right?" And watch those 3 companies grow right back up to probably $1 billion company. Because they probably still have all the patents and all that stuff. Yeah. And let it grow. They'll be back. As Arnold Schwarzenegger said, we'll be back. They'll be back. That's crazy. In a different way, but they'll be back. Only in America. Let's move on to something. I'm tired. Okay. It just this stuff frustrates me. That's why I'm like, let's just move on to something else. Yeah. So President Obama catches some flack because he criticized the phrase defund the police. And his premise is if we're going to reach other people, we have to be careful of our wording. Now, here's the thing. I'm actually okay with this thought process. Because a lot of people on the left were criticizing, saying, that's what it's got to be called. That's what it is. And I get that the phrase and the slogan catches people's attention. But I think the bigger part to me is that I get the whole premise of defund the police, why they're doing it. And I get the overall premise of why they're saying that, right? I have no problem with that. But my problem is this, is that you're seeing people on the left not wanting to appeal to anybody on the right. People on the right not wanting to appeal to anybody on the left. So anybody that dwells in the center that says we have to do things to appeal to both sides, they're automatically shut down. Even President Obama, what he said. Because to me, defund the police, when I first heard it, then I had to go research what it meant. And most people aren't going to do that. They're just going to hear defund the police, meaning you don't want the police.
Yeah, the words matter, right? I mean, you know, words is what you do for a living, how to speak and communicate to folks. So words matter, and the words, you know, there's a little sharpness to defund the police. There's sharpness to that when you hear it. That's not. We all know we need police, you know, and we all know that, you know, most police are good. You know, are there different things that should be done in terms of putting some money towards social services to engage in certain types of issues that the police deal with that would be better if a social worker dealt with it? Yeah, probably so, right? Or a psychiatrist or what have you, probably so. Particularly in those nonviolent, although hostile and you know, personality disorder type things. So I just think the word defund, it has a lot of bite to it. And I'm not for, you know, defunding as much as I'm for making sure that we get the right folks, you know. Like my dad used to tell me when I was a kid, everybody's not meant to go to school, college. Everybody's not meant to drive. Everybody's not meant to be a police. Just because you want to be one doesn't mean you should be one. Right?
Exactly.
So how do we make sure we weed those folks out that they may want to be one, but they don't need to be one?
Exactly. You know? Exactly. I'm for taking some of the police budget and managing it better. Budgets in general for most cities. And say, look, let's put it towards services. Like, instead of putting money towards locking up drug addicts, why don't we put some towards some services to rehab those drug addicts?
Right.
Find a way, like you said, to train the police better.
Right.
So we have a better group of police officers. And then also, I think police need to be paid a little bit more to do what they do.
Police and teachers.
Police and teachers.
Most underpaid folks out there. As somebody just said, Cindy just said, it's reform, not defund. I like the word better, reform. Police reform. Not defund, but reform. Let's
reform them. Yeah. Like you said, not everybody should be a police officer.
Everybody, just because you want to, don't mean you
doesn't
can't.
mean you should.
You should deal with that all the time at the church. Just because you want to, don't mean you can't.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're qualified for it.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be a police officer. That's not my lane.
No, I don't want to be one either.
You know, but I think that you see some police officers who, like in every profession, you have your group that's not good and your group that is good. That's every profession.
Everywhere you go, it's always going to be.
Teachers, it's like that everywhere you go.
Corporate America, everywhere.
You know,
everywhere. Sports, entertainment, everywhere.
Right. The problem is when in those groups they do everything to protect the bad ones, even though it hurts the good ones.
Yeah.
You know, they got a note. They tell people in the hood don't snitch. I mean, to snitch, but then they have a don't snitch policy.
Exactly. Don't snitch on them. Don't snitch on. Police can't snitch on each other, but they're going to. And then the folks in the hood don't want to snitch, but they want you to snitch on somebody for doing something. It's a crazy dynamic there.
Like, I think it was a couple of years ago in Philly. They finally caught these police officers who were helping the kids in the hood sell drugs. They were actually they were you know, getting paid off so they can continue to let the drug trade go.
Yeah. And
you wonder how many places that's happening. Those movies aren't fake.
Are real.
Where the police are shaking down the drug dealers so they can keep doing their thing.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's out there. It's been going on for years, and guess what? It's going to continue to go on. But reform is important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, y'all. It is 9:59, so we're getting ready to get out of here. We thank you guys for joining us for this special remote version of On Point. Like I said, we're having a new set put up for next week. Our staff is working diligently on that. Don't forget to join us tomorrow starting at 8 a.m. We have one service at 8 a.m. Right after that, we're going to do some announcements and some old videos that we used to play, some more recap videos and just some board at Bethany's, just some stuff to fill in. 9:45, our engaged social media team will be on talking to you guys from 9:45 to 10. 10 o'clock we'll begin the discussion, 10 to 10:30. After 10:30, at 10:30, when the discussion's over, our engaged team will be back leading us into the 11 a.m. service tomorrow. And don't forget about 6 p.m. communion. Get your elements out. There's a word. It's going to be tight, but God's got something for us. We're going to help us get through our communion service. Don't forget our toy drive is coming up soon. We're still working on how we're going to do that. You can give towards that. I know we're donating to certain organizations around the area, helping them, give them some toys to give to their kids. Go to our website, Givelify, text to give, wherever, and you can click on Catch the Fire, and you can give there. Don't forget to follow us on all our platforms, BBC of NJ. Follow Bishop at David G. Evans 1. And we love you guys. We appreciate you. Pastor Rich, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Hey, man, appreciate you too, Pastor Nick. Y'all stay safe out there.
Yes, sir. Y'all stay safe. And Sister Maya for coming on. I texted her to help us with the questions. So
hey,
she
man,
can go,
hey, Maya.
Yeah, as soon as we get off, she can go back to bed. Right. She's shaking her head. She can go back to bed. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, y'all. See you tomorrow morning. Bye.
Have a good day.